Hello and welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us today for this session of STEM Community Lunchtime Conversations. My name is Jeremy Babender and hosting with me today is Beth Nickel from Arizona Science Center. Today we are excited to talk about STEM summer events happening here in Arizona.
All right, so during this session today, our presenters will share STEM programs, events, and camps available across Arizona this summer. Our presenters for this session are Laura Grasso, Coordinator Senior, Fulton Schools of Engineering and Program Delivery Partner, First LEGO League Challenge, Allison Smith, Senior Vice President of Engagement at Arizona Science Center, Sean Barton, Director of Curriculum and Strategy with STEM Sports, Jenny Frank and Catrice Swinson, Education Outreach Coordinator and Education Outreach Associate, Maricopa County Air Quality Department, and Claire Conway, Arizona STEM Ecosystem Partner Manager. Thank you all for joining us today to speak with this group.
And so without further ado, I wanted to cue Laura Grasso, the Coordinator Senior, Fulton Schools of Engineering and Program Delivery Partner at First LEGO League Challenge. Thanks for being here, Laura.
Thank you. I'm going to be talking about a few of our different programs that Fulton Engineering is going to be hosting this summer. I'm talking about some programs that I don't have a lot of details on, but the first program is the Fulton Virtual Summer Academy, that's kind of my baby. This last summer, it went to a virtual format and it was very successful, so successful that we even brought it back for a winter break camp. This summer, we're staying virtual as we can't bring kids back to campus yet. So all of the camp packs are mailed directly to the students. We have a range of different topics from programming the Lego Spike Prime robot, as well as the WeDo robots for the little kids. I've actually purchased a whole bunch of robots and we'll be loaning them out to kids so they can try it out in their home. And we're also mailing huge boxes of Legos from the more creative building camps. And then we also have a 3D printing camp where the kids are working with Tinkercad and their items will be printed at the ASU campus and then mailed to them. So with this camp, we have a lot of students. I just have the listing to the left, but you can find this if you Google ASU Lego camps. It will be the first link to pop up. These camps have actually been extremely successful each season. And right now, I think that there's only 1 or 2 camps that are open right now. Oh, this is a little video. So one thing with the camps, the kids actually will record themselves and submit this as their homework. And so they're talking about what they built.
Look what I made. I put a label where I got this from, and this is a person popping up out of the top like this, and she can go down through the window, and you can see her in the window. This is all built by me. I only got a supply from Playmakers.
Okay, so if you want to go to the next camp, this is the NSTI camp. The National Summer Transportation Institute is hosting a free virtual camp for highly accomplished and motivated students from Arizona. In this camp, students will explore topics related to the engineering profession and how engineers shape our world. The National Summer Transportation Institute engages students in projects and virtual field trips that demonstrate how engineers plan and maintain our systems of transportation around the state of Arizona. The participants will interact with ASU engineering faculty and students, attend virtual workshops, engage in transportation-related virtual visits, and complete fieldwork related to maintaining safe, sustainable, and efficient transit. Students accepted into the program will receive a materials kit, including a TI Inspire calculator, a program t-shirt in the mail before their first day. So the deadline has been extended to tomorrow in case there's anyone who wants to quickly submit their application. Jen Velez is the one running this program. Next slide. The Challenge 2021 is an online camp for Arizona high school students. It's a virtual engineering design competition hosted by the Arizona Tri-U Engineering Partnership, which is between the U of A, ASU, and NAU. Participants will attend online workshops, consult with experts and working groups to come up with engineering solutions to a problem related to this year's theme, which is access to clean water. Final team solutions will be critiqued by a panel of engineering faculty and professionals, and workshop panel discussions and facilitated team meetings will be held from June 15th through the 18th. And the winners of the challenge will be announced on June 21st. And again, Jen is running this camp as well. You want to go to the next slide? C Camp is a virtual exploratory engineering experience for 11th and 12th graders to help them make an informed decision about their major and path to college. Participants will go through and meet faculty from each of the 6 Fulton schools. The faculty will then help the students with hands-on activity or a live demonstration or tour. For example, there's a solar powered car activity where students are actually sent the solar panel and the motor for their kits, a water filtration experiment, learning how to build a rain gauge. So for this camp, the July 19th session still has space available. And that's it.
Perfect. Right on the dot. So thank you so much. There's so much going on there. Yeah, it's awesome to see it opening up and so many opportunities for the kids. Love the video too. So next one, cue Allison Smith, the Senior Vice President of Engagement, Arizona Science Center. Thank you for being here, Allison.
Yeah, thanks for having me. So hello, everybody, and thanks for being here. So my name is Allison Smith with Arizona Science Center, and here to share some of our offerings both in our building and outside of our building this summer. So you can go to that next slide. So within Arizona Science Center, we have lots of new exhibits popping up this summer, and pun definitely intended. Our first is POP, the Science of Bubbles. So this is in our outside water atrium space. So a fun way to come to the Science Center, explore the science behind bubbles. We also have on that next slide our Art and Science of Arachnids. So we have a new exhibit opening on tomorrow, actually, where you're going to be able to experience 100 different species of arachnids. So this is touted as the largest collection of traveling arachnids in the United States. So if you're not afraid of spiders and scorpions, come on down. It's something great to do inside of the air conditioning. We also will be announcing a new exhibit that will be opening in June. We should be announcing that in the next week or so. So we have multiple new offerings inside of our building itself that you all can come to. On that next slide, also happening at Arizona Science Center this summer, we have our Camp Innovation Program. So every summer we run a camp program. This summer we have both virtual and in-person offerings. So camp will run from June 7th to July 30th. We have themes ranging from creepy crawlers, really tying it to that arachnids exhibit, all the way to engineering. We have an astro camp that we're doing in partnership with NASA, and we have a girls in STEM camp for high schoolers that's part of the BRIGHT program for the National Girls Collaborative Project. We also have a chemistry camp, so lots of different camp themes ranging from first grade all the way up through high school for our on-site program. We've also partnered with Parks and Rec in the cities of Tempe, Gilbert, and Peoria, where we're offering camps at those sites as well. If you want to bring us to your site or your program for camp, we can also take any of our camp programs on the road. We have an outreach team that's been working with some other community partners to bring some of our camp programming off-site to you to do 1-hour programs to full day programs. So really we have lots of different educational offerings for the summer for students. Going to that next slide, if you are a teacher, don't worry, we didn't forget about you. We do have teacher offerings this summer as well. We have our science teacher residency, which is going to be a week-long intensive, really diving into the misconceptions, some of that content around science, and all teachers who participate walk away with a kit of materials at no cost cost to them, and applications for this close tomorrow. So if you are interested, please check out our website looking into that STAR program, our science teacher residency, so that way you can apply for either our earth science or space science module. Our professional development team also goes off-site as well. So we really are traveling. We go the whole state for both youth programs and adult programs. So we're working with some school districts to provide some summer PDs to get teachers ready for next school year. On the next slide, if you are a parent, we didn't forget about you either. So we have a whole online directory of resources. So Connect is really how you can experience our educational offerings virtually. So we have resources for parents, students, and teachers on here as well. Just different activities, videos, things you can do to keep your kiddos engaged in the summer and prevent that summer slump. So finally, we'll go to that last slide. So I said a lot of different things. My email address is on here, smitha@acscience.org. Feel free to reach out if you have any questions. I did see a few comments about, do we go down south? We go everywhere. So we've even left the state a few times. So our outreach team does travel. And so hopefully I see some of you all at the center, or we'll be off site at your site. So thank you all for having me today.
Thank you, Allison. That was awesome. Again, so much going on. And next, wanted to cue Sean Barton, the Director of Curriculum and Strategy at STEM Sports. Thank you for being here, Sean.
Thanks, Jeremy. Go to the next slide. Just to kind of give a little bit of a background of who we are and what we do. We actually have developed a K through 8 supplemental curriculum that actually fuses STEM and sports. Now, what does that mean exactly? Building STEM and sports. Well, we actually create lessons that are around first the concepts and standards of STEM, and then we fuse those with sports, as you can see all those sports below currently that we have written. Right now, we are actually in the process of writing lacrosse, and then we'll go to tennis and hockey. So we have a variety of options for those interested in whatever sport, but of course, learning those essential concepts within STEM of science, tech, engineering, and mathematics. We've been around, as it'll kind of give you a little bit of our history, our background since 2016. Initially started from BMX, which is where the concept came from. You can keep going through each one of these. One I definitely want to mention as it pertains to summer camp programs, as you can see in there, camp programs, after school programs, is we are purchased a lot and utilized a lot during summer camps. As a former summer camp program director, our curriculum is a very, very good job of actually, creating a 2, 3, 4 week program around a sport. And then of course, being able to incorporate and understand those STEM concepts. So you'll notice one of the primary, as you can see there, STEM Sports Skyhawks. Skyhawks is one of our main partners we partner with, and they're one of the largest youth-based summer camp programs in the country, and they've fused our curriculum with theirs. So for more information, certainly ask me about Skyhawk Sports and what they offer as well for this summer. You can go to the next slide, Jeremy. And just a couple things for these next 2 slides. We've actually over the last year, the pandemic obviously was difficult on everyone, and we had actually developed some resources, just kind of fun and playing, enjoyment at home, which will work as well during the summer. Playing card fitness, yoga fitness is a couple things that we did again to keep kids active during that time during the pandemic, but works as well, particularly indoor during the summer heat in Arizona. You can go to the next slide, Jeremy, please. But to go a little bit deeper into the world of STEM and sports, we developed a triple play package of 3 different lessons that can again be done at home, done during summer, doing with your friends, with neighbors, with mom and dad, that again, will really delve into the physical, hands-on aspect around learning STEM, again, through sport and activity. And again, certainly feel free to reach out to me as we'll get eventually to my contact information around these, particularly these particular lessons that you can do at home as well and during the summer. You can go to the next slide, please. One of the things I wanted to include as I wrapped up today was understanding why we have the curriculum that we do, STEM sports, is really to each of our lessons in our curricula for the 3rd through 5th, 6th through 8th, the grade bands, ends with jobs for each lesson. And those jobs encompass that specific lesson. We want students to have understand they're going somewhere with what they're learning in school and learning from our curricula. As we mentioned there at the bottom, not everyone's going to be able to get a job in sports. So there are jobs though that fuse STEM and sports out there. And when you go through each of our lessons, if you choose to look and delve into our curriculum, our lessons, you'll get a chance to see some of those jobs in there. And again, it gets our students very excited, our educators as well, to know, hey, I'm actually working towards some, and empowers and gives them that energy. You can go to the last slide to wrap up. And as mentioned from the outset, I'm Sean Barton, Director of Curriculum and Strategy at STEM Sports. And Jeff Golner, our President CEO as well, is here to help. Certainly feel free to reach out anytime with questions around our curricula. And of course, those resources I mentioned for things to do at home. We're happy to help anyway, and appreciate being here today.
Perfect. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for both you and Jeff for being here today and fielding that. And kind of going back out to the audience, if you have questions that are coming up, either with specific presenters or in general, start posting them. So we'll have that for the Q&A. And so next, wanted to cue Jenny and Catrice, Education Outreach Coordinator and Education Outreach Associate at Maricopa County Air Quality Department. So thank you both for being here today. And like during the festival, holy cow, so many presentations during the month. You became definitely veterans of doing it. So thank you again for being here today and letting us know what you have going on.
Great. Well, thank you so much for inviting us to present at today's STEM Community Lunchtime Conversation. So the Maricopa County Air Quality Department is offering several free engaging educational opportunities this summer. So we'll go ahead and talk a little bit about that. Next slide, please. First up is our Clean Air Camp. So if you're looking for an engaging virtual experience that incorporates movement and hands-on activities, then our virtual 1-hour Clean Air Camp has all that and more. Children have fun learning about air pollution while making a model lung and a particle pollution collector. Those are 2 of the projects that are incorporated into this workshop. And all of our activities actually are customizable to meet your specific needs. So we deliver project materials and guide students through the activities virtually on a video call. And this opportunity is perfect for summer camps, recreation centers, library programs. We had a great opportunity on Earth Day to pilot it with the McQueen Park Activity Center in the city of Gilbert. We had a lot of fun. Students had a lot of fun with that. So to schedule that, just contact myself or Catrice Swenson. We'll give you our contact information at the end, but go ahead and move on to the next slide, and Catrice will talk about our next opportunity.
Great, thank you so much. So another really exciting opportunity that we have is the excitement of an in-person STEAM event virtually. So we have our virtual STEAM event, and families and students and children explore the virtual exhibits of 16 STEAM organizations and have opportunity to participate in a live question and answer session with the STEAM experts. So there's a really great independent learning component and also a live component where they get to engage with different experts. We set up the video call, host the event, recruit the STEAM experts. All you have to do is set up the video call and invite your community or your audience. Last year, we actually had 35 virtual STEAM events that reached over 2,500 students and community members. And next year, we're going to be launching an on-demand option. So stay tuned for that. But if you're interested in scheduling one of these opportunities, go ahead and reach out to us. Or if your organization would like to contribute and be one of our partnering organizations next year, also reach out. We'd love to have you join us. Next slide, please. All right, and last but not least, we have tons of on-demand options on our website. So we have our coloring page and other activity pages. We have our particle pollution collector model lung activity, all on demand that you can just click on our website, download, print, and complete. And we also have a really fun and engaging air pollution virtual escape room where students will actually solve fun challenges to progress through 3 levels in order to stop air pollution and save Maricopa County. So this is fun for all ages, lots of really good stuff in there to keep students engaged through the entire summer. And next slide, please.
So thank you again for giving us a few minutes to present our educational opportunities and resources. We also have many more resources during the school year, but this is what we have available during the summer. I think we're well within our 5-minute time limit, but there's our contact information. So please feel free to reach out to us in the chat today or send us an email. We'd love to connect with anyone who's interested in our resources.
That was excellent. Thank you both so much. And again, if everybody has questions in the chat, I already see people giving some for STEM sports, and same thing with the other programs. Please feel free to post them in the chat, and then we'll have some in the Q&A as well. And finally, we have Claire Conway, Arizona STEM Ecosystem Program Manager. Thanks, Claire, for being here to present about the ecosystem work.
Yeah, of course. Hello, everyone. I am the STEM Ecosystem Program Manager at SciTech Institute, and we just wanted to take a quick minute to share with you the wonderful resource that is our events calendar on our website. So we have a whole host of events posted on there. As you can see, we've already got, just for this 3-day weekend alone, 32 events going on from partners all over the state. They're combinations, some in person, some virtual. And if you go to the next slide, we've got the link up there, and I'll send it below in the chat right now, to both check out the events calendar, see all of the wonderful things that are going on, and to also submit an event if you want to share the opportunities that you have coming up in the next couple of months. All right, and then on the next slide, we wanted to, while we have you here, give a brief update about what's going on with our STEM ecosystem program. So for those who aren't familiar, the STEM ecosystem is our network of partners all over the state working in business, education, their teachers, families, students, government employees, all sorts of different folks, all working, collaborating together around STEM and STEM education. And if you move to the next slide, we have 2 main subdivisions of our ecosystem, the first of which would be the regional hubs. So our hubs are based mostly on the first things first divisions of the state, and they're really an opportunity for people to connect with other folks working in their region in order to connect local resources and encourage conversation, really focusing on local assets and local needs. And in the next year or so, we've got a couple of hubs coming up. You can see right down there at the bottom. And then also in the chat, I sent a link to our interest form if you're in those regions and want to get involved with our STEM ecosystem hubs. And then the other subdivision we've got are our working groups. So these are more topic-based, and unlike the hubs, they are statewide. So anybody who's interested in getting involved in a working group, we would absolutely love to have you. That you can follow the same exact link as for the hubs in order to get more information. The current groups that we have going on right now are the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion group, as well as STEM in libraries. And then in the next year or so, we're also going to be starting working groups in agriculture and food security, STEAM, aerospace, health sciences, and sustainability. All right, and then if you want to get involved, we've got that form once again right there. We would love to have you in our hubs, in our working groups, or just in the ecosystem in general. So please take a moment to fill that out if you're interested. And if you'd like more information, feel free to contact either me or Casey, and we would love to chat with you.
Perfect. Thanks, Claire. That was a great summary of a lot of many months of background work, and it's really great to see it coming to fruition. So thank you for being here to present that today. And then she'll be here as well to field any questions that you might have from the chat. So maybe one thing to start with our presenters is, when selecting your camp programs, how did you decide what topics and age ranges to provide? And there are many camps that you would like to hold in the future, or are there many camps you'd like to hold in the future? So that probably could apply to a lot of folks, but is anybody, maybe Laura, you want to start with us?
Sure. My camps were based on in-person camps that we've had in the past. And last summer choosing the camps was really a very quick decision. And I worked with this amazing STEM teacher from the Creighton School District, and he's the one that actually ran the camps. He was able to put together really fun camps for the kids that was Lego based, so we already knew kind of what we're getting into. So our camps are based on what we've done in the past and flipping them to be more virtual, something that the kids can do at home.
Perfect. Any of the panelists wanted to respond to that?
I can share next. So we really looked at, for this summer, especially for our in-person camps, we really want to keep group size small. We're still adhering to a lot of our, well, to all of our safety protocols. So in order to have those small groups, we did primarily focused on 1st through 6th grade for most of our camp themes, because that is our most popular age range based off guest feedback. Every summer we send out a survey after our camps to see what themes families would be interested in for next summer. So our themes for each summer are really based off that survey feedback, in addition to what's going on at the center. So for instance, that creepy crawler camp is really related to that arachnids exhibit that we have. And then we will have a camp that's themed to our new exhibit that will be announced shortly. So really aligning to what's in our building and what our guests are telling us.
Perfect. Any other responses?
Our curriculum is one of the, we wrote third through 5th, 6th through 8th, the 2 grade bands. So you kind of have that as far as lessons and the activity level around sports. As it pertains to summer camp and extended day programs, it works extremely well because, again, we want those kids to be active, particularly after school or during the summer, particularly around the summer, because, they're out of school now, they're ready to move around. So, they're getting the sports, yet at the same time, they're staying there. That STEM science is still fresh in their mind. So it's one of the benefits of our curriculum.
Right.
Well, I'll go ahead. Our department's mission is to provide clean air to the residents of Maricopa County. So choosing a topic around clean air was kind of a no-brainer for us. There weren't a lot of other options, actually, because that's our mission. But the virtual STEAM event opportunity has really been interesting because it's allowed us to work with many, many other organizations, many of them related to wildlife and the environment. And it's given us the opportunity to really bring home to participants how everything is interconnected in our world.
I would like to just quick add to what Jenny said, that we actually created our virtual escape room for an elementary to middle school age group. But as we said, it's fun for all ages. And we actually found that it was taken mostly by high schoolers, and they've been our biggest crowd who have latched on and have really enjoyed it. So we kind of target things to certain age groups, but then we try to keep it open so that all ages can also enjoy and join in on the fun.
Got it. Then the follow-up question, this one's a little bit more philosophical, but from you're working with the kids on the ground and really seeing the fruits of your labor, but what do you think is the most important reason for having summer programs like what you do and others do in our community, and how might we get more kids engaged? Let's maybe leave it open of who might want to start. Maybe Allison.
Sure. So really, we want to make sure all of our kiddos in the Valley are across the state are engaged in the summer. We don't want that summer slide to happen. We know that during the summer there is learning loss. So we want to make sure that for all of our camps that we are providing some of those learning opportunities, but not just focused on the content, but really at those 21st century skills. They're going to be applicable no matter what a student is studying or working on. Things like communication, collaboration, problem solving. It's the thinking like a scientist, more so than we're not so worried about the vocabulary. It's really that mindset around it, and just finding ways to inspire and educate throughout the year is really kind of our goals of all of our summer camps, and why all kiddos should be involved in summer camps. Even if science is not their thing, there's lots of other great camp offerings on this call as well, really just to keep all kiddos engaged during the summer.
So any follow-up to that? Anybody else wanted to add? Yeah, one thing we're looking at, from a study that was done by John Falk and the team over at ILI, Institute for Learning Innovation, was just really talking about, these informal experiences really give an opportunity for kids to grow and really do step outside of the box and do something unique and different. And that kind of helps to really support this progression of learning for kids that are able to go to those camps. And what they found was that kids that went to these summer camps really kept their learning or went actually higher in terms of when they went back to school. And that was an interesting thing that they found from their data piece of that. So with that, Hope, I wanted to, bring that back to you. We are lucky to have so many speakers today and wanted to have an opportunity for people to discuss more with them about summer opportunities. So thank you everybody for being here, and thank you to our speakers, and wanted to send it back to Hope to bring us to the breakout rooms.
Great, thanks, Jeremy. And thank you again to all our presenters today. Such amazing opportunities for STEM across Arizona and even beyond. I know some of these reach far past Arizona. So thank you for being here today. We're really appreciative. And just to add on to what Jeremy said, I think one of the things with summer camps, I think that is wonderful that each of you are doing, because I kind of know each of you and what some of the work that you're doing is trying to constantly stay on top of trends that are happening, right? So instead of just doing the same things over and over, what are kids excited about? What are they into, right? And making sure that we are providing those so that we're continuing to foster that awareness with students and that interest in students from a young age and throughout. So appreciate all the work that you each are doing and being here today. So with that, we're going to go ahead and go into breakout rooms. We have 3 different rooms moderated by Claire, Fritz, and Michelle. So we're going to spend about 15 minutes in those breakout rooms with some guided questions. Jake will drop in the chat the Google link as he just did. You can feel free to add in your thoughts there, or the moderators will take notes as well. So we'll go ahead and get started. We'll come back. We'll wrap it up with just some share outs before we head off for the day. So thank you all again. And here we go. Welcome back, everyone. We hope that you had a great discussion while you were in your breakout room. I love that so many people stayed on to carry on that conversation. So I'm excited to hear some of the share outs from each of the rooms. So we'll go ahead and start with Claire. Claire, you want to share with us a little bit about the things you discussed in your breakout room?
All right, we heard about all sorts of different events coming up this summer and into next fall that look like they're going to be really exciting. So we're looking forward to sharing them out with the group later on after the call. And then we also had a great point from Susan talking about the need for more programming for kindergarten students, and also the importance of getting out that information before the end of the school year so that teachers and schools can share the info with parents while they're still around.
Yeah, I love that, Claire. And I know this year and last year, probably a little bit of a tweak, right? Are we in person? Are we virtual? And so putting all of those together to get out to teachers can be a little bit more challenging. So hopefully next year, right, people can, we'll have everything planned and get that out accordingly. And I love the idea of kindergarten. I know when I used to run a bunch of summer camps, we talked a lot about that. And then what is the actual time frame that you should have for the littles, to keep their attention span, so on and so forth. So I agree, engaging them young is a great idea. So thank you for sharing that. Fritz, what about your breakout room? Any highlights you'd like to share with us?
Sure. So much of our breakout room we spent introducing ourselves, talking about who we are, where we came from, and the things we're involved in. And the end of the breakout room came after we began talking about the first question. So we actually didn't get to the second question in our room. However, talking through the first discussion question, one of the things that was mentioned was enthusiasm about being a scientist, and some of the STEM camps that try and foster that enthusiasm there. And I can see how that's very important, because in the classroom, science has a very one-dimensional textbook academic learning. Not all the time. I know some science classrooms are a lot more exciting than, say, all of them. But during summer camps, there's a lot of more exciting experiments and a lot more ways for students to drive their curiosity for what science is in other dimensions of being a scientist than just the reading and the writing.
Yeah, I love that. Although I'm taking slight offense to that because I was a great science teacher who did lots and lots of experiments, Fritz.
Okay.
But in general, I'll give that to you. Okay. But yeah, a lot of people don't, a lot of teachers don't have time to do experiments where the students actually each get to touch and feel and be a part of it, right? They just demonstrate it from the front of the classroom or something like that. So I agree. Summer camps and programs are great for that because it takes out the grading part of it and it just allows for exploration. And for discovery. So thank you for sharing that. Appreciate it. Michelle, what about you? Any thoughts from your breakout room?
Absolutely. So we had a robust discussion about options that are out there. And some of the ones that were mentioned were the Arizona Science Lab through the city of Phoenix that offers hands-on engineering. And the SMART competition program, as well as Bisbee Lab. And one of the key requests we actually had, there were two requests that we had from folks on the call, is the city of Phoenix is their Youth and Education Commission. It recognizes youth volunteers. And so if anybody has outstanding youth volunteers, Michael Andrews is mentioned the program, but you can check on the Youth and Education Commission website and find options for submitting those recommendations. And then Catrice with Maricopa Air, they're revamping their virtual camp that they had earlier, and they have asked anybody interested in creating an exhibit to contact them, and they're looking for additional vendors and exhibits. So those are two of our particular requests.
Great, thank you, Michelle. And I love how everyone put so many wonderful camps, programs, comments in the chat. So Fritz and I will be taking all of the information that you put in that Google sheet and now the information that you dropped in the Google chat, or excuse me, the Zoom chat, and we'll be aggregating that. We'll make sure to email that out to you so you have all these awesome resources. There'll be a link to the video. So if you want to go back and listen to anything, you're more than welcome to do that. So thank you to each of our presenters who are here. So much active commentary in the chat, sharing resources. If there are anything else that you think of that you want to share, please go to the SciTech org website and put it in as an event. That's where people can go. Drop it in the chat right now, or you can email it to me. And I'll make sure to get that included next week in the follow-up information. So we will be having our next STEM community lunchtime conversation called Capture STEM. So we'll have some photographers and some different people who are in the arts who will be talking about how they capture STEM through these different modalities. So should be a lot of fun. And so we hope at that point in time that you can come and join us. And so thank you again to everybody for being here today, and to all of our presenters and our moderators. We appreciate you. And go ahead and go forth and have an awesome rest of your day and week. So thanks, everyone.
Thanks all.
And I'll wait just a second in case anybody wants to drop anything in the chat last second before I close it up. Make sure that Fritz and I can capture those resources. And if not, you're more than welcome to jump off and we'll follow up next week with all the resources. Oh, yes. Wonderful. Douglas, I'm excited for that. June 15th is a big day. Big day.
We're all stoked. Thanks so very much, Hope. And as usual, SciTech rocks it. You folks are awesome.
Thanks, Douglas.
you take care. I'll go ahead and punch. But you folks are awesome. Thanks so much for everything.
All right, bye.
Michelle, I love your background. I love Bora Bora.
Thank you. Yeah, we had the pleasure of going once, so it's like amazing.
It's
yeah,
incredible.
All right, everyone. Bye.